Welcome to Adding and Subtracting Whole Numbers and Decimals. It's a great way to start a week. Let's get started. Today we are going to answer two important questions. First, why does having a base 10 system matter when you're adding and subtracting? And how are decimal numbers added and subtracted? Well, you've got lots of experience with adding. You've been doing it for a couple of years now. If we're looking at 27 plus 35, and some people might read that 27 together with 35 because that's really what you're doing. We know that we're going to add 7 and 5 that's in our single units, our ones column. Well, 7 and 5 is 12. Wait a minute, I can't do this. 3 plus 2 is 5, and right now I have 27 plus 35 being 512. And right now you should be saying, that's really unreasonable, Mrs. Clark. That can't be. Those numbers don't even add up to 100. How can you get an answer of 500? And you would be correct, because that is way wrong. So let's fix that. We know that because we have a base 10 system, we can't ever have more than 9 in a single column. So we know that 12, which is what 5 plus 7 is, has 2 units and 1 10. Well, this is where I keep my units, and this is where I keep my tens. So if I do 7 plus 5 is 12, I've got to put my units here and put my tens all in the same place. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 1 is 6. Our second answer is 62, and that is a lot more reasonable than 512. Let's take a look at a second one. It's a little longer. And one of the things with adding is that it's a pattern. It's a way we do things. It doesn't matter if I'm doing 3 digits or 300 digits. It's going to work the same way. So we have 6 plus 1 is 7, and that's okay because that's 9 or fewer. So let's go to our tens column where we have 3 tens and 7 tens. And that's going to give me 10 tens. Now most of you know that 10 tens is 100. So we're going to keep our 0 tens here and move our 100 over to the hundreds column. So 3 tens plus 7 tens gives me 10 tens. There's the 0 part of that. And here's the 100. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12, which is bigger than I can put in any one place. It's actually 2 hundreds and 1,000. And we get 1,207. You've also got a lot of experience with subtracting. This is taking apart, taken away from. So here I have 9 units, and I'm trying to take out 7 units, and I can do that. And here I have 8 tens, and I'm taking out 2 tens, and that leaves me with 6 tens. Ask yourself, does that look reasonable? Is 62 less than 89? Yeah. If I were to estimate to look for an answer being reasonable, I might say 90 minus 30 is about 60. Sure is. Looks good to me. So let's bring it down here. And here I've got a problem. I'm trying to take 8 units out of 1 unit. That can't be done. So we need to come over here to our tens. I'm going to take one of these tens out and turn it into 10 units. So now I have 10 units in addition to the 1 unit that was here, which makes 11. I'll draw that right there. 11 units take away 8 units, leaves me with 3 units, which is less than 10, and so it's okay. Now here I only have 7 tens because I took this one out to break it up and put here. So 7 tens take away 6 tens gives me, ta-da, 1 10, and 4 hundreds take away 2 hundreds leaves me with 2 hundreds. And 213 looks reasonable. Now, what if we throw decimals into the mix? Well, there's not much that's going to change. The first step is to draw in your decimals. And then we'll build the numbers around them. One more time. Do your decimals first. Now we can put in 37 and 43 hundredths. And then we could put in 16 and 61 hundredths. My decimals are lined up. What operation am I doing? I'm going to add. Okay. 3 plus 1, or 3 hundredths plus 1 hundredth gives me 4 hundredths. 4 tenths plus 6 tenths gives me 10 tenths, which of course I can't have there. So even though the decimal's there, I'm just going to carry across like it wasn't even there at all. 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. Bring up my 1. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. And I will drop my decimal straight down. 37 is about 40. 16 can go either way, 10 or 20. Add that up. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Now, let's try one where they don't have the same number. Look, this one has 2 digits behind the decimal, and this one only has 1. Well, that's why we write the decimal first, because it will help me line them up properly. So here we have 126 and 4 tenths. And here we have 15 and 28 hundredths. Tenths aren't hundredths and hundredths are tenths. I do not want them in the same column. Now, if it bugs you that there's nothing here, that's fine. Put a 0 on the back, because adding a 0 to the end of a decimal number doesn't change its value. Or don't. Either one's fine. But I have to have my hundredths lined up with my hundredths, and I have to have my tenths line up with tenths. 8 nothing is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. Decimal drops straight down. 6 plus 5 is 11, which includes 1 unit and 1 10, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And I end up with 141 and 68 hundredths. Now, I'm going to send you to a second video. There is a gentleman from Escondido, California, who is a wonderful middle school math teacher who has done a rap which will help you remember so much better than anything I tell you how to do this. So now I'd like for you to stop the video. You will find his video on this playlist and in my favorites. Have a listen to the Rappin' Mathematician. The last thing I'd like for you to do is to pop back and get down an example into your notebook of adding decimals. So, why does having a base 10 system matter in addition and subtraction is one of the questions we answered today. And how are decimal numbers added and subtracted? Well, line up the dot. You know what to do. I will see you tomorrow.